coaches, parents, and players. Oh my.
When talent doesn't work, hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work, hard ain't it? This is how I'm training. This is how I'm training. I'm training. I'm training. This is how I'm training.
Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, DrCoach Irwin Hudson, a.k.a. DrCoach. Oh, hoops, baby. Let's go! Folks, welcome back. Welcome to episode 2. Episode 2. I like the sound of that. Because if we're talking about episode 2, that means that episode 1 is in the books. And we're still going. Actually, folks, we're just getting started. And it's about to go down. Coaches, parents, and players. Oh my. Folks, we're back, and like I said before, I'm going to keep it solo for the first probably 4 episodes to set the stage. With that, now is the perfect time to introduce you to one of the 3 main characters of this little play. And I call it a play because in conjunction with these 3 main characters, each one of them is going to have its own 3 distinct acts. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Of coaches, parents, and players. Oh my. Again, I am yours truly, DrCoach Irwin Hudson, a.k.a. DrCoach. Oh, hoops, baby. All right, people. In this episode, I'll be exposing character 1. Coaches. What is coaching? According to Joe Morningho, coaching is taking a player to where they can't take themselves. And also, according to Richard Shea, a coach not only inspires, but supports and encourages others to get results. In other words, coaches are the wind beneath the wings of winners. And since I wrote that, folks, feel free to borrow it. Better yet, I like to say coaches, or a great coach, is the force that lifts good players to greatness. A coach that I consider to be one of the greatest coaches of all time, he said, a good coach can change the game, but a great coach can change a life. I want to say that one more time because that's important. A good coach can change a game, but a great coach can change a life. And that was from the late, great John Wooden of UCLA. Okay, people, it's my opinion that if we're going to talk about something, you should first define it or at least know what it means. So here goes. Most dictionaries, I went to the dictionary and looked this up, but most dictionaries define coaching consistently as an adept person who imparts knowledge and trains an individual or the team members on a sports team while making decisive calls about the team's strategy during games. Simply put, coaches should be smart. And also, coaches should be able to transfer knowledge to individuals or members of a team. And lastly, coaches should be decisive and strategic during games. A coach is also someone who's entrusted with the responsibility of meticulously planning, organizing, and delivering an extensive array of sports activities and programs for an individual or a team. So that's a lot of definitions there. I want to make sure we understand this. I'm going to put this out as much as possible because I really want you to get this. So when we come back to this, you know what a coach is supposed to do. Typical responsibilities include imparting relevant skills, tactics, techniques to players, along with fostering team chemistry and cohesiveness. And since Building a winning team is a foundational element to me in my coaching. Allow me to shout out a few of my favorite winning coaches. First, I want to shout out Coach Steve Cohn. This is my mentor. This is the man that I tried to emulate with humility, compassion, and wisdom. I mean, I looked up to him, and I really believe that he's one of the greatest coaches ever. Plus, his two amazing sons, Josh Cohn and Reggie Cohn, they formed the triad, which, I refer to as the Cohn dynasty of state championships. Each of them have won their state championships. In fact, I think Reggie's won several. Calvin Lingelbach. He's a legendary Evans coach. A lot of great players came through Evans. Calvin was responsible for him. He was also a legendary player at Evans, and he played at UCF. Joe Seminara. Joe is definitely the best assistant coach in the business. And definitely the smartest sports mind. I don't want to say basketball mind, sports mind that I know. I mean, Joe, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, golf, oh my gosh, tennis, you name it. If there's a sport, Joe knows the history of it and he knows the strategy of it. And if I'm going to be a head coach again, ever, I'm always pulling Joe in as my assistant. Coach Tom Klusman, he was the inspiration for my book. He's the one that told me to take off my parent-colored glasses. I wouldn't probably be doing this podcast if it wasn't for Tom Klusman. He coached my little brother over at Rollins College. He offered him a scholarship and, showed me the error in my ways. And I'm definitely forever grateful to Coach Tom Klusman. He's an icon at Rollins. He was a great player and a great coach. Coach Steve Ritter, Embry-Riddle University, coach, athletic director, public speaker. I could call Coach Ritter and talk to him for hours about basketball. It's him dropping knowledge and me just absorbing it. I love Coach Ritter. Coach Johnny Dawkins, UCF current basketball coach, Duke, All-American standout in college and great NBA basketball player. I'm so proud to have met him, and I call him a friend, and I look up to him as another mentor. Great, great man, Coach Johnny Dawkins. All right, Coach Donnie Jones, former UCF basketball coach and current Stetson basketball coach. Great friend of mine. While he was at UCF, I got to know him very well. I ended up training his son while he was at Father Lopez, and really love that family. Kirk Spiraw, past UCF coach, give him a shout out because Kirk was there when I first got here to UCF. I got to Orlando, and Kirk allowed me to train in the gym. He turned his head and looked the other way when I was sneaking into the gym training. So I really appreciate Coach Spiraw. I ended up coaching his two sons in AAU. Coach Billy Donovan. Wow. Go Gators. That's the Billy I know. Just a winning coach. And actually, my little brother put him in my song. Listen to this. I love this part right here.
I bet you Billy Donovan won't forget Chandler Parsons. SEC MVP, take the P off and call him arson. Train both the Rivers, Austin and Jeremiah. From grade school to college, set the city on fire.
Love Billy Donovan. Yes, Billy Donovan recruited two of my players, Nick Calathis, Chandler Parsons. Also, Torian Green played for Billy. He played for me in high school also. Coach Trey Burke, TB. I call Coach Burke the Bill Russell of high school basketball state championships. This guy has more rings than fingers. And over the years, we formed a great friendship. We talk about everything from life to coaching, family life. Really good friend of mine, Coach Trey Burke. Really love that guy. Coach Al Honor. He has probably the most state championships for Florida girls basketball. And he actually allowed me to train his son, Nick, which was a big deal because Nick was special, and Al didn't just let anybody train Nick. And also, he played for me in AAU, my fifth grade AAU team, which we were ballers, Orlando Hoops. That was a great basketball team. Scooter the recruiter. Got to give a shout out to my man, Scoot, Mike Scutera. Mike helped me break into the Orlando basketball coaching scene. He's retired now from coaching college. He built the dynasty at Lake Howell with me and the Cones, and I really enjoy coaching with Mike Scatera, and even now we still talk, and he's in my book. I got a chapter dedicated to some of the stuff that he showed me and taught me while we were coaching together. And my guy Yoda, Coach Rashad Phillips, the man, the myth, the legend. This guy not only was a great player, now he's a great coach. He's coaching middle school. He's given his time to his daughter, who's going to be amazing. He's allowed me to train her also, and she's next level. Only in middle school, but next level basketball player. And, you know, it's a testament to his dedication and what he's pouring into her, plus what he's pouring to a lot of other people, because he's got one of the best management companies across the country, Prestige Management. Big shout out to him and what he's doing for all these high school players getting into college. And, you know, he's turning their lives around. He's making folks millionaires. Rashad Phillips is the man. Big shout out to Rashad Phillips. Here's a few young, up-and-coming coaches that I want to give a shout-out to. Since we're talking about coaches, Coach Ricky Klatt, one of my favorite people also, one of my favorite trainers, worked with me at O-Hoops for a long time. I trained him when he was like 7th or 8th grade, all the way through high school, up into college. He credits me for a lot of his mentorship, and I appreciate him because, man, he was special. High school, great. College, even better. Went the JUCO route and then starting point guard for Oregon State University. Big time. I'm so proud of Ricky. I played overseas, Denmark, Brazil, other places. Now Ricky's doing great. He's a head coach girls basketball at Bishop Moore High School, which is phenomenal. He's already been to the state championship a few times, and it's coming. Ricky is going to be one of the best coaches come through Orlando because he has the passion, he has the desire, and integrity that's needed amongst coaches. Big shout out to Coach Alfredo Noodle Williams at Masters Academy. Noodle's one of my trainers also, and he started his own company. He's one of the best trainers in town, great at what he does. I'm just looking forward to great things at Masters Academy. I'm so glad he's got that opportunity to be the head coach. Looking forward to seeing Noodle blossom and really show the world why they selected him as the head coach at Masters Academy. Coach Sean Witherspoon, Bishop Moore head coach, formerly of Winter Springs, which, you know, one of the greatest players to ever come through Oviedo High School. I trained him when he was in high school. Him and my brother played together a lot. He played AAU for me. Sean was one of the best players to go through Murray State before John Morant. There was Sean Witherspoon. And we always joked about it because Sean was pretty unorthodox, but there was nobody, and I mean nobody, going to outwork Sean Witherspoon. So big shout out to Sean because he was undersized, power forward, but definitely the Draymond Green type. Before Draymond Green came along, Sean was leading teams and pushing the ball up the court and being a captain because that's what he is. He's a leader. Coach Ian Young. Ian Young played for me in high school also at Lake Howell. He also played overseas, starting point guard for Auburn University, Auburn Tigers. I mean, big time. He played overseas, I don't know how many years, 8, 10 years, something like that. He did some great things, and now he's back coaching Oviedo High School and leading them to district championships each year. And, you know, Ian's got a big, big ceiling. I mean, he's going to be one of the best coaches also. You know, tough, college-minded, but if you want to be coached hard, go to Oviedo High School. Ian's one of the toughest coaches around, and it shows because his players always end up getting better and doing great things. Coach Adrian Davila, assistant coach at Daytona State. Adrian's one of my favorite coaches also because he's one of the hardest working people you'll ever see. Adrian was one of my greatest trainers, ball handling wise. I put Adrian up against everybody. Adrian would outwork anybody in ball handling. Played at Trinity Prep, and I ended up passing the torch to him at Trinity after I coached at Trinity for a couple of years. I handpicked Adrian because I knew that he deserved it. He was one of the best players to come out of Trinity, and he also had the passion for coaching. There's nobody going to outwork him when it comes to coaching. Recruiting-wise, scouting-wise, Adrian, he was a man, and I'm still a good friend with Adrian. I still talk to him a lot, and he's recruiting some of my players. So big shout-out to Adrian Davila. Coach Jermaine Ashley, one of my favorite coaches in the girls basketball travel community. Coach Jermaine is well-loved and very well-respected by everyone that goes through his program. And Jermaine actually trained with me also for a year or so, and really enjoyed Jermaine and his family. He's well-mannered, and just really his integrity is there. He does it for the kids, and we know that, and it shows. All right, I want to shout out some of the trainers also, because they're coaches also. They're the ones who are developing these kids. Number one on my list, and he's the man to me. This guy really impressed me when he came down here from New York to hang out with me, and we labeled him Gym Rat because this dude lived in the gym. Ryan, only the motivated, Van Loo. Not just one of the best trainers in Orlando, folks. Ryan is one of my favorite people. Integrity, honesty, hardworking. Ryan, someone I trusted to actually run this gym and be in this gym. So, yeah, Ryan's the guy. Only the motivated. Iron Rainey, pro trainer, mental coach. He's a pros coach. I mean, these guys seek Iron out for a lot of things, the skill, the development, and a lot of the mental work. He's transforming people. So, yeah, big shout out to Iron Rainey. I always respect the greatness that he's putting out there. Tyshawn Patterson, energy, dedication, passion. I honestly would have never wanted to play against Tyshawn because this guy, I mean, honestly, he causes havoc on defense. He's too fast on offense. He's got some pros in the NBA right now that he's trained that, he grew them. So we're very proud of Tyshawn Patterson. The TNT crew, big shout out to Jared and Nick. Those are my guys. I really respect them and really love them. And hopefully they do great things as they've always been doing. Jared was my right hand for a while, and I really appreciate all the things he did to help grow O Hoops. These guys promoted it to the hilt. Nick, the model basketball player, we always put Nick up as our model because he handled the ball like I wanted him to handle it, shot the ball like I wanted him to shoot it. Really big shout out to Nick. And Alain LaRoche, Coach LaRoche, past head coach at Bishop Moore and current player development coach at Windermere Prep. Special. I've seen some of the stuff he does. I've allowed him to come in and work in my gym also. And Coach LaRoche is the real deal when it comes to player development, especially the big guys, especially the NBA quality type guys. If you really want some good work, you've got to go see LaRoche. He does some great stuff. Cerebral training, TJ Bannister. Big shout out to TJ, one of my favorite players when he was growing up. I've been knowing him since he was in high school, before he went to Virginia and played overseas. TJ doing great things, and I love his concept, cerebral training. He's all about the mind and really changing folks for the better. Kurt Mallory, hoop movement. Love Kurt. Kurt was my intern, then Kurt was my O-Hoops trainer. And Kurt was a sponge. He learned a lot from me. Then he went over to Tyshawn Patterson, worked with Training Passion, and he just gathered all this knowledge, and now Kurt is going to be one of the best coaches in town because the kids trust him, and Kurt can do the stuff that he says he can do. So big shout out to Kurt. Keep driving, Kurt. Keep doing your thing. Last is Clyde Williams. This is my guy. He's not a basketball trainer, but he's a strength and conditioning coach, and I had to give a big shout out to Clyde because I'm telling you, there's no one better when it comes to strength and conditioning than Coach Clyde Williams. This is my guy. He was my assistant at Trinity Prep. Loved working with Clyde, and I still work with him anytime. Clyde's got guys in the pros, in the NFL, in the NBA. He's got guys all over. A lot of times Clyde don't put it out there, but there's a lot of players that he's working with that you don't know about, and all of a sudden you'll know from their strength. Anyways, big shout out to all those guys. And last, I want to shout out some of the great trainers across the world, people that I subscribe to. First, Pat the Rock. Pat's a basketball icon, folks. I mean, this guy is a world-traveled, I think over 30 countries, teaching the gospel of basketball. I think he's a true friend of mine. I really love Pat. Whenever I get a like or a thumbs up on any of my posts from Pat, it always makes me happy. AJ Ramsa, man, motivating the world. This guy, I'm telling you, is a ball of energy, and there's no fakeness in it at all. This is who he is. He wears it on his sleeve. He comes out and shows the world who he is, and he's literally motivating the world. Love AJ. He's one of my favorite point guards of all time. I mean, white kid, lefty, handles, shoot it anywhere, a leader. AJ Ramsa. Very good friend. I love AJ. Micah Lancaster. Never met Micah, but I'm telling you, I'm a believer. I follow because I love impossible training. I'll debate with him sometimes, but gosh, Micah is special, and he's got a great business. I mean, he's world-renowned. He's worked with the greatest, and, I love Micah Lancaster. Dorian Lee. Man, I've been following Dorian before he got big time. I got a VHS tape of Dorian training and doing stuff in basketball, and now everything that he puts out, I'm on it because Dorian Lee is special. B-Ball 101 EPD. Big shout out to Dorian Lee. Gannon Baker. G-Bake. Been knowing Gannon for a long time, over 20-some years with Gannon. He and I have been doing this for a long time. And Gannon's one of the pioneers of basketball player development. But he's special, and he could talk the talk and walk the walk. I mean, when I see him shoot right-handed, left-handed, blows my mind. I thought my heart rate, goes up when I was training back when I was younger. Training with Gannon Baker was insane. So, yeah, Gannon's a great person and Christian man. He is very honest about everything he does. Love Gannon. Robert Blackwell. I call him the Reverend because I'm telling you right now, Rob Four, this dude, man, preaches the gospel. And I'm a believer. I'm a follower. Keep doing what you're doing, Rob. I love your in-car commentaries. The best out there. And every time, I'm telling you, you're spot on dropping knowledge. See Mike Dunn. He makes shooting simple, as it should be. Love watching Mike Dunn stuff. I have debate with some of the things he teaches, but I'm telling you, he knows what he's doing. The proof's in the pudding, and he's a master shooter. Great technique. I'm glad that we both follow each other and see what each other's doing. So big shout out to C. Mike Dunn. And last but certainly not least, the real 94 feet of game, the OG, Phil Handy. That's my dude. Even though I'm a little older than Phil, Phil calls himself the OG, which he is. He's been doing this for a long time, and I think his hair went gray before mine, so he is the OG. Big shout out to Phil Handy, the real 94 feet of game. So, folks, there's a lot more out there, but those are the ones that come to mind. As you can see, there are a lot of really good coaches and trainers out there. In fact, there are some really great ones. However, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but for every really good coach or trainer that's out there, there are some really bad ones. And what's worse, there are some downright ugly ones. Remember, the purpose of this episode, or the next two episodes, is simply to introduce the three main characters of our podcast. And I want to whet your appetite for the contributions to the chaos that I call competition insanity. So there you have, folks. Let's talk coaches. And since we've already defined the term via textbook definition and through several quoted examples, I've also given you a pretty good list of my go-to coaches in Orlando and surrounding areas and around the country. The last thing that I want to do today is tell you a little story about the statement that I made on the last episode pertaining to coaches. Not sure if you remember, but in the last episode, I made a statement. And that statement was, coaches suck. And I meant that too. Because just as parents are crazy and players are lazy, coaches suck. Again, whether it's basketball, baseball, football, volleyball, soccer, dance, or any other sport that I failed to mention, you're going to find that coaches suck. And what I mean by sucks is that players and parents believe that the coach lacks the skill to effectively lead, coach, teach, or motivate the team, which is magnified tenfold when the team is losing. This perspective is strictly an opinion and is usually based on what the player is experiencing as far as playing time or their lack of success on the court. Therefore, almost every player at some point in time formed the opinion that their coach sucks. To that point, let me close this episode with a quick story that I heard way back in 2011. And I've changed the names to fit a few players that I coached back in the day just because I wanted to include them in my book. But remember, these two did not say this stuff, so if you know Sammy and Hayden, please don't go running up to them and giving them crap about this little skit. This is just something I wanted to have them a part of. And the only reason I'm including this little skit is just so that I can convey an interesting story about what some players think about their coach. So, no matter how great or legendary the coach may be, to some players, coaches suck. All right, here we go. One day, Hayden walks up to Sammy and asks Sammy about the previous night's game. Sammy says, "It went well. We won, but I'm not happy because I didn't get to play." Hayden tries to comfort Sammy by saying, "It's okay, Sammy, man. You're only a sophomore playing on varsity." But Sammy doesn't care about all that and simply replies, "My coach sucks." Hayden defends the coach by explaining to Sammy that the coach that he's referring to has been coaching for over 15 years, has won 3 state championships, has won 5 conference titles, and is currently has a record of 17-3. Nevertheless, Sammy responds again, "My coach sucks." Hayden then asks, "Man, how can you say that?" Sammy then goes on to say, "Well, my girlfriend, my dad, my AAU coach, they all tell me how good I am and that I should be playing more." So Hayden quickly responds and says, "Sammy, the reason that they say these things is because they love you and that they don't know basketball like the coach does." Sammy responds again, "My coach sucks." Hayden asks Sammy, "Okay, have you talked to the coach and asked him how could you get more playing time?" Sammy responds again, "My coach sucks." Hayden asks Sammy again, "Do you come in before practice to work on your game?" Sammy responds again, "No. My coach sucks." Hayden then asks Sammy, "Do you practice as hard as you can all of the time?" Sammy responds again, "My coach sucks." Hayden asks Sammy, "Did you work in the offseason really hard? Did you lift weights? Did you run sprints and work on your ball handling and shooting?" Sammy responds again quickly, "No, my coach sucks." Hayden then tries to put Sammy in his place by saying, "Sammy, you need to stop blaming your coach and hold yourself accountable." Sammy says again, "But my coach sucks." Hayden finally explains, "Sammy, if you want to be the best player you can be, then your coach is the only person that you should be listening to." And Sammy quickly responds, "You suck." Unfortunately, folks, this is a funny way of explaining a troublesome perspective that's plaguing youth sports. And unfortunately, too many players and parents have adopted this perspective when it comes to their coaches, simply because they don't agree with their coach's methods, especially when those methods don't coincide with what the player and parents want. Okay, people, that's a wrap for episode 2. We've defined the coaches, which is one of our first main characters of the play. Next session, we'll be tackling parents. That should be interesting because that's going to be a little bit more touchy because, remember, I'm calling parents crazy. In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe to coaches, parents, and players. Oh my. Coaches, parents, and players. Oh my. Coaches, parents, and players. Oh my. Because I promise you, folks, we're only going to get better. Take care. Remember to have fun and get better because that's what life and basketball is all about. Now that's so hoops, baby. Let's go.
Per game, got it out from Orlando Hoops. Hey, this is how I'm training. This is how I'm training. I'm training. I'm training. This is how I'm training. This is how I'm training. This is how I'm training. No brick, straight training. This is how I'm training. When talent doesn't work, hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work, hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work,
Hard work beats talent.
when talent doesn't work hard.
Hey, OrlandoHoops.com, where stars are born.
Yeah, meet me in
In the lab, what it do, coach? I'm out. Till next time, see you, folks. Peace.